Hello guys, this is Sandra here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. It's lovely to have you here and I hope you're gonna enjoy your stay. In today's video, I'm gonna show you 3 easy yet impactful looks that I'm gonna create with the PürxRawBeautyKristi and Pure collaboration palette. I love this palette and there's already one look that I created that I will link in the cards, which is my first impressions video basically. But in this video, I'm showing you 3 different looks from that, and what else can I say? I love this palette so far. And I just wanted to use this a bit more, so if you wanted to see the looks I'm creating, just please keep on watching. If you just want to see, you know, a few looks or just, I don't know, one look, I will leave timestamps in the down bar below where you can see it on the timeline as well, so it makes it easier for you. But yeah, that's the only extra additional info I wanted to say, and now, truly, let's go. So for the first look, we're only going to use the colorful side, and first I'm going to take a flat packing brush, this is just a random one, and dip it in the shade Side Effect, which is this beautiful, gorgeous, bright pink, and pack it basically all over the lid, or most of my lid, not that much in the inner corner. And I also already primed my eyes with my NYX HD eye primer. So it's all nice and prepped, and usually I start with my eyes, but you will see it with the second look as well, because with this palette I don't really experience any fallout, or if I do, it wipes away without tinting my skin. It's just, you know, quite easy to not have to worry about that. I can actually do my skin first, which is nice, and it's not really what I would normally do. Okay, once you get to about this stage, switch the brush. I'm switching it to the Sigma E40 tapered blending brush. It's nice and big. It's a nice big fluffy brush. There we go. And I'm gonna dip it in the shade Dandelion and do a general blending around. And you will see that as you start blending it, where they meet, it turns a bit more orange, because pink and yellow make orange, so it makes sense, obviously. And I was wondering in the beginning if this will be enough to blend it, but I will use another shadow in a second, because it was just not fully working. Ow! That went right in my eye. Ah! Alright, my eye is still a bit sensitive, but we survived. That, I just really got a whole brush in there. I don't know how I did it, but let's just move on, shall we? So the next shade I used is MI Orange, which the name always makes me smile, I can't help it. And I'm using it on the e.l.f. blending eye brush. It's a bit more dense, it's slightly smaller as well than the previous one. And I'm gonna apply it just where the two colors meet, just to amp up that orange a bit and help the two blending together a bit more. And then I'm gonna go back to the Sigma brush and just give them another nice blend. Then moving on to the brow bone, I just used a small, well, it's a flat brush, but it's quite bendy. It has no name on it anymore. I think it was from a drugstore at home. And I dipped it in the shade Lumos and also in the shade Cafe Disco a little bit, and just blended it under my brow bone so it brightens it a little bit, but without it being too obnoxiously much. Bring in some light there, and went back again with the Sigma brush in case it's a bit too harsh, and just blend in that area, and poof, we have a highlight. Then for the inner corner, I switched over to my Sigma E47 brush and just dipped it into Lumos, because I wanted to keep the majority of my eye nice and matte. And make sure you tap off your brush, because this white is pigmented. So I just try to not to apply too much and blend it in the inner corner. Look at it. So it still gives you a nice highlight, but without it being too much, if it makes sense, because it's still a matte color. And let me just, I just take the brush that I used with my setting powder and clean it a little bit there, because I brought out the yellow a bit too much. So as a next step, I was in a bit of a trouble. I could not decide what I wanted to do today. I thought I wanted a liner and then I regretted it, so I had to tone it down. So what I did first, I went in with the shade Trouble, which is the purple one. I was not too happy with it. So then I went on top of it with the shade Hurtful, which is the blue, to make it a little bit, I don't know, more muted, but then it turned too grey. So then to balance it out, I went in with a glitter liner, which is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal liner in the shade Volume. And that sort of is quite nice. Now it has a little bit of a peekaboo effect that every time I blink, or even if I just look straight ahead, depending on how I turn, I can see a little bit of glitter peeking through, which I love. And that's really the only glimmery part in my makeup today when it comes to my eyes. So actually it turned out quite well, if I say so myself. So let me just do that. I just wanted to explain to you what I do, and then I can just speed through it so you don't have to listen to me talking. You can just watch and enjoy for a second, and hopefully enjoy the music. Okay, once that's all dry, I'm moving on to the lower lash line, and for that I took again a no-name brush, but something that's fairly dense but good enough to blend and is quite small, and I dipped it in the shade Mi Orange, tap it off and blend it all over under my eye. And I'm gonna just take the Sigma brush, the big one, without any additional product, blend under there. And then I take a small brush, this is the Essence eyeliner brush, and dip it in the pink shade Side Effect. And apply it mainly in the outer half of my lower lash line. And I still like to go back in with the Sigma brush one last time. And then I'm going to apply a coat of mascara, and I will be back for the last step. So the last step is to apply a pink eyeliner in my waterline, which my eyes are quite sensitive to start with, especially since I, punched it with the brush. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm using the Berry Kohl pencil in the shade 23, so it works beautifully with the actual lid color. And let me just see how well that goes. Okay, I think that it just worked fine.
And here we go. This is basically our first look all done. And we're off to the second look with the Star Wars hairstyle and the Urban Decay primer potion. To start, we're gonna go in with the shade Camelot and just pat it all over the eyelid. I used the Sigma E25 brush and not really worrying about blending just yet. Now we start blending, and I took a little bit more of the shade Camelot and the Blank Canvas Cosmetics E42 brush. Then moving on the shade Copper Boxes, and I used it on a small Morphe brush, which is the M506, and this is just to deepen up the crease and the outer corner. I wanted to add a small smoked out wing, so we're using the shade You're Not My Real Dad on a Zoeva 240 brush, and just blend, blend, blend till you get the small wing. To brighten up the inner corner, I used the shade Golden Ticket just on a small flat brush. Then the highlighter I used on my cheek, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Rockstar Bronze and Glow Duo, and I used it on a Sigma brush, which is the E47. And the shade Copper Boxes again on a small blending brush on the lower lash line. And to finish it off, a coating with mascara, and poof! We have our second look!
Okay, so again, as in the previous two looks as well, we keep it quite easy but still impactful when it comes to the color, I think. And this time I prime my eyes with my Tarte Shape Tape, And then we're gonna go into the natural side first and start with the pinky shade Moo Point, which is just a really nice natural pink. And I use a Zoeva brush, that's the 227 Luxe Soft Definer, and I just dip it in, tap it off, and draw a really light sort of outline of where the rest of the shadow is gonna go, but also this will just make it slightly lighter to have a nice diffused color between that purple later and our skin. Now that it's there, and you can probably barely even see it, but in real life it's there, trust me. We're gonna go in with a flat brush, this is just from MAC, and switch over the sides. And I'm gonna dip it in the shade Hurtful. And we're going for a halo eye today, so I'm gonna pack it on the outer corner, and look at that color. This would be so gorgeous with like yellow as well, and just this all over the lid, blended out with sort of a brown as transition. Ah, beautiful shade. And then in the inner corner, we can always come back in later if you feel like you blend away some of the color. But now I'm gonna go into a Morphe 506 brush and the shade Tribute, which is this nice purple one, and just blend basically this blue into the skin. I'm also gonna sort of blend across here where there is no blue, just lightly, so it's not just a weird clear patch. And then if you feel like you need to, you can go back in with the first brush that we used with the light dusty pink and blend a bit more, and just basically keep blending till you're happy with how it looks. You can also go back in with a flat brush if you feel like the color faded somewhere. And at this point I haven't added any extra to it, I just keep patting in what's on the brush, and that seems to be plenty. And now, I first went in with a flat brush, but I figured it actually works a lot better with my finger for impact, so I went in the shade Cafe Disco, which is this champagne-y, silvery kind of color, and just pat it on in the middle of the lid. I'm a magpie, I can't help it, it's so nice. And then I can go back in with the small blending brush and the big one, you know, just blend it out so it's not that shiny on top. And then on the lid I just sort of pat over it with still a flat brush and no extra product actually. Just making sure there are no harsh lines basically on my eyelid. And this is the only shade that has a fallout on my cheeks, and that's why I haven't done my complexion yet, because I feel like this has a bit of fallout that you can't really just brush away. Again, there's still no extra product on this, but it still helps to pack some color, which is amazing. And we're almost done with my eyelids, but as the next step I went for my Kat Von D tattoo liner. This is the black one. And drew a really small flick. I might have to zoom you in more and big. This is just basically to give me a guide or a sort of template. It's not really to be there as a black liner, as you can see on the other side. Then I'm gonna take my Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadow in the shade Vega and apply a bit on the back of my hand, like literally just a small amount, and take a teeny tiny brush that's easy to do details with. This is from actually a class store, so it just says class on it. And no, actually I'm lying, it says CAS, which I don't know what it means, but never mind. This is just from an art store is what I was trying to say. And I'm gonna put this on top of the black liner, and the black was just there to give me a sort of guide, and also it just gives a bit more background to this, if it makes sense, because it It's not fully opaque. It's not sheer by any means, but it works nicely if it has some sort of backdrop. And I was wondering if I should just put it in the middle, but then I went over the whole liner. Let me know if you would have preferred just the middle. I mean, it's too late for me now, but you do whatever you want. There we go. And now I'm just gonna do my whole complexion and then I will be back. So on both sides on my brow bone, I applied my Becca Pure Pearl highlighter. So again, it's just on the brow bone, and then we can move on for the rest of the eye. So for the under eyes, what I've done first, let me grab my palette. So I took the Morphe M506 brush, so a small blending brush, and took first the purple shade Tribute and blended it all over the lower lash line all the way till the outer corner. And again, I went back and forth with the big blending brush that I used in the beginning just to make sure it's nice and blended. And then I took the small MAC flat brush that I used before, went back in Hurtful, which is the blue shade, and patted it both on the outer and the inner corner. Again, went back in with the big brush just to blend it. And then, now this took a long time to build up, but I went in with an even smaller flat brush and dipped in the shade Cafe Disco and tried to mimic what we had going on the top lash line, top lid. It's on my normal lid, you know. Oh my god, why do I have trouble talking? And then I also took a little bit of my pinky to see if it helps building it up. It was a struggle. And I have a bit of fallout, but it's okay. And again, went back and forth with this brush, and then went back in a bit with the blue Hurtful. And now we have a bunch of silver fallout there, but it's okay. Then I went in with this liner, which is on my lips as well. So I used this on my lips and then patted the eyeshadow on top. It sort of works, sort of not. It's okay. So I used the Sigma Indigo Bird eyeliner pencil. It's a perfect match to that eyeshadow. So I just applied this in my waterline. Then I'm gonna whack on some mascara and then I'm back to show you the actual finished look. So here we go. I just decided to throw on a nude lip at the end because, I don't know, blue is not that much my color, but that's it. This is the last look. Alright, if you're still here, you're a real trooper. Thank you for sticking around this long. And let me know down below which one is your favorite look. Look number 1, look number 2, or look number 3. Or also, if you want me to create more looks with a specific shade or just in general, let me know in the comments below as well, and I can definitely do that for you. I'm sure I can come up with more looks based on this palette because it's really versatile and I love playing with it for sure. But this is it for today. I don't want to let this video be even longer than it probably has to be because it's still 3 looks. So I'm gonna go now. If you want to see more videos from me, please, you know, subscribe and hit that bell button. And also, if you like this, please give it a like. It would mean so much to me. And if you subscribe, that means even more. It would be lovely to grow my little community here even bigger. I upload videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday with the occasional edition on Saturdays as well. And they are all makeup related. But for now, I'm gonna go. I hope you have a lovely day and bye-bye. It's nice and blig. I keep doing it. Ow! That went right in my eye. Ah! First get the chair. It's like a dark green as well that I just like, you know, it's my own concoction. Oh, you know, no one wants to hear about that, do they?